Most people are not lazy. They are in survival mode. And survival mode was never designed to build a life, only to keep you alive. In this video, we break down the real stages of growth, from survival to stabilization to living and then thriving. If you've ever felt stuck, exhausted, or like you're doing everything but going nowhere, this may just be for you. Welcome back to the channel where truth is spoken, healing is honored, and growth is the mission. Welcome to Family Focused, the Healing the Roots movement. Today we're talking about something most people are living but don't even have language for. The journey from survival mode to actually living and then thriving. Let me start here. If you feel stuck, tired, behind, overwhelmed, you are not broken. You're likely operating from a system that was designed for survival, not success. Stage one of this transition is survival mode, which means you're in survival mode. And this means your mindset, your focus is just to make it through this day, just to make it through this moment. But what you need to know is survival mode is not a personality. It is actually a biological state. When your body believes you're under threat, financial stress, emotional instability, uncertainty, it prioritizes immediate safety over long-term growth, which means we focus on urgency, not strategy. We react instead of planning. You work hard but don't move forward. And here's the interesting part. Studies show that when people are under financial stress, their cognitive capacity drops significantly. It's not that they're not smart, it's that their brain is literally relocating energy just to survive. So your brain is now focused on keeping you alive. That's it. So when you say, why can't I think clearly? Why can't I get ahead? It's because survival mode is not built for expansion. Survival mode is built for endurance, which is why it was important to our ancestors to be in a constant state of survival mode and vigilance. Your real life would look something like this. You're working every day. If you're in survival mode, your real life looks something like this. You're working every day but still behind. You're solving problems constantly, but new ones keep coming up. You feel like if you stop for even a second, everything will collapse. That is not failure. That is survival. Now let's look at stage two, which is now you're moving from survival mode and now you've gone into stabilization. And stabilization is where you start creating safety, because survival mode essentially is born out of a lack of safety. So you are in a constant state of survival mode. So now once we cross over into stabilization, that's now when we start creating safety. This is the stage most people skip, and that's why they stay stuck. Stabilization is not glamorous, it's not exciting, it doesn't look like success, but it is the most important stage of all, and we can understand why. Because you cannot build a thriving life on an unstable foundation, and I think we all are aware of this. The same way you can't build a house on an unstable foundation or else it will collapse. Stabilization is where you create predictable income, even if it's small. Reduce chaos and unnecessary emergencies. Build systems instead of relying on energy. Start making decisions from clarity instead of panic. This is where your life begins to feel quieter. Not perfect, not abundant yet, but less chaotic. And the truth is, stabilization feels boring to people who are used to chaos. That is so true. That is the truth. Because chaos is familiar. Chaos feels like movement. Chaos feels like you're doing something. And this is why in relationships, some people will just be in a constant arguing and constant fighting, because without that chaotic energy, they don't feel like they're doing anything, and quiet feels more like danger than chaos does. And many people sabotage this stage because they mistake peace for stagnation. So the fact that you're finally like, your phone is not ringing off the hook, nobody's calling you to cuss you out, nobody is calling you to gossip, the calls that you get, they're meaningful, intentional, and beneficial, frequent. But that's normal, and that's really where you want to be, because you don't want the negativity, you don't want the unnecessary use of your time. But because it is unfamiliar, then it feels threatening. Oh my God, what's going on? So now, after you have stabilized, after we've stabilized our life, this is now when we can move into stage 3, which is living. And in stage 3, you can now breathe. You can take a breath. And this is where something shifts internally. This is about, more than anything else, it's about your internal world and not the external. You're no longer just reacting to life. You start participating in it. And by participating, it means that you're not choosing, you're deciding. Living looks more like you have space to think, you can plan ahead, you're not constantly in crisis, you begin to enjoy moments, not just survive them. This is where identity starts to change, and this is the important part, your identity. Shift in identity, your self-image, where you think of yourself, what you think you're capable of doing, what you have done, and the evidence that you have to support this. You stop seeing yourself as someone trying to make it and start seeing yourself as someone building something. And this is where the systems that were mentioned earlier in the stabilization phase becomes important, because instead of relying on your feelings or your emotions, you have put systems in place. It can be then, if this happens, then I respond this way. So once you put those systems in place, then you realize that you're actually building something, and you're not relying on feelings. And here's a powerful shift that will happen eventually. You realize, I'm not my circumstances. I am the person navigating them. And that changes everything. And once you get to that stage, you then move into stage 4, which is thriving, which also leads to expansion. Thriving is not just about money, it's about capacity. Your capacity to do, be, and just to hold more without collapsing. So your capacity to handle more without breaking, earn more without chaos, without the chasing and the begging, build relationships from wholeness and not need. So you don't need anything from the person. Think long term and execute consistently. Thriving is when your systems support you, your income is more predictable, your mind is clearer, your life is not controlled by emergencies. And here's another truth. You don't jump from survival to thriving. You transition. Hence the stages. Stabilization, survival mode, stabilization, living, and thriving. And most people are frustrated because they are judging themselves in survival mode using the standards of someone who is thriving. That's like expecting a seed to perform like a tree. So, where in this transition process are you? Are you surviving? Are you stabilizing, living, or thriving? Because clarity about your stage changes your strategy. If you're in survival mode, your focus should be on reducing pressure, not chasing perfection. If you are in stabilization, your focus should be on consistency, not speed. If you are in the living phase, your focus should be on expansion with structure. And if you are in the thriving phase, your focus should be on sustainability and legacy. And final truth, you are not behind, you are in a stage. And every stage has a purpose. Survival builds resilience. Stabilization builds structure. Living builds identity. And thriving builds legacy. If this message hit home, it's not because you're broken, it's because you're waking up. And healing begins where awareness starts. If this helped you, share and subscribe. And let's keep healing one truth at a time. Healing the nation, one child at a time. And before I go, I just want to say hello to my 429 subscribers. And thank you to those of you who engage with my content. See you in the next video.